imagine it. My kids are very grossed out. They'll go, ooh, gross. I don't want to think about that. Just like you kids with your parents. But even your pastor and your pastor's wife, when they were young and they started courting, and we were actually courting for marriage, we found that we were losing self-control and we had to set limits. Once we set limits, then our conscience would start clicking in some. So this is what this is all about, setting our limitations. But in the churches in the States, I found there are no limits. In fact, I'm appalled, actually, because when I go back, they start having Valentine's banquets, and children 12 years old are trying to find a date to the Valentine's party. I'm shocked. What 12-year-old needs to be finding a date to anything? They can't even figure out that they need to take a bath. They don't bathe and change their underwear properly sometimes. But this is cute. The parents are all involved. Let's get them a cute outfit. Oh, my son's going with your daughter. It's like they're reliving their fantasy world or something. And oh, isn't it cute? It's not cute. It's bizarre. You're starting some urges in a 12-year-old that hopefully we can escape until they're 14, 15, and puberty kicks in and they're out of control already. And I'm thinking, you're doing what? So when we're in America and it's the Valentine's banquet and they ask Megan and Barrick if they're going, I say, what are you going to do? Megan and Barrick say, we take each other, La, because they know that I don't want them doing anybody. Even as old as they are, I'm not interested in them taking someone to a Valentine's banquet. Take your brother. Take your sister. Okay. Because everybody else is with somebody. Why do I want to encourage those type of behaviors before they're ready to make a commitment to somebody? You cannot, and the reason you cannot is because I'm going to explain to you exactly what the definitions in the Bible are that you can and cannot do during your courting times. So if you can't do it during your courting times, can you do it before your courting time? Of course not. You can only control these types of attitudes when it is the time to begin in that stage of your life. And you're not ready to begin that stage of your life until you do a bunch of other things that we're going to discuss. So what has happened in the churches is they start them at 12, Valentine's banquet, so cute, taking pictures even. The boy, the girl at the Valentine at 12 years old, the photographer there, and it's a big thing every year. Who's taking me to the banquet? 12-year-old. Is this true? 13-year-old. Same idea. Let's get an idea. Why? Let's get another idea. Let's get a banquet where we learn about the fruits of the Spirit and don't take the opposite sex. Wouldn't that be beneficial? No, let's do something stupid, and I'm going to use the word stupid because it really is. It serves no purpose in you having a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old. Wow, you're appalled, huh? No, I'm not. It serves no purpose. You're not ready to get married yet. Why would I want you spending all your energy trying to find somebody that you could take to a banquet? Who cares? Let me ask you this. Are you reading your Bible? Oh, well, we're not going to have a Bible reader banquet. So boring. None of them want to come. Well, you got real problems then. Because that's not a mature way of thinking. They're all immature, and they shouldn't be going to a banquet in the first place. We need to develop their maturity. We're getting the horse before the cart. And it ain't going to go nowhere. You got to put the horse first, put the cart behind it, then it can move. What's happening to these young people? Now they're getting into 16, 17, 18. Their hormones are totally out of control. They've been fed this. Yeah, it's all right. Look for somebody. Look for somebody. Let those emotions go. Give in to those emotions. Feed those emotions. Let them grow into a big monster. And the monster is raging. And then they start dating because the parents say, no harm. They're 16. They can drive a car. So in America, you get a car at 16, and the boy drives the car to the house, and he picks the girl up. Warning! I'm like wanting to scream out, warning! You are asking for a scenario of something that is going to get out of control in the flesh. The girl gets in the car. They go out and they shop for a while. The shopping center closes. Where to go now? Let's go to the park. To the park. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at the stars. Look at the lovely bench. Shall we sit and look at the stars? Yes. We look at the stars together. So far away. I get closer. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. The boy is thinking, do I put my hand around her or not? Wow, this is such a big thing. It's like slow motion. Like it's everyday occurrence. You do it all the time, no problem. And before you know, if nobody's around, the urges and the flesh rise. Say, this is natural. This is guaranteed. I promise you 100%. You get in a secluded area with somebody you're not supposed to be with, and your hormones will kick in, because that's the way God made you. Say, God made me this way. It's supposed to happen like that. That's why you don't ever go there, because that's what's going to happen when you go there. And what's happening with the young people in America is they are getting so far into all the way up before the final act of the union of two people in the act of marriage itself. It's kind of like what President Clinton did. What's happened with President Clinton has now shifted down into our apostolic churches. Not all of them, but some of them. Where President Clinton with the woman said, oh, I didn't have sex with her. I just had, what? Oral sex. That's not sex, what? It is. God never said you could do that. That's stirring up a desire you cannot satisfy until you are married. So in the churches, they're saying, I never had sex. I never fornicated. No, but you do everything right up to the very act. And to God, you might as well have done the act. But please don't say that I want you to do the act. Because we know the act thereof is that you will have another little one of you walking around. And that would be a shame for the new life that is brought into this world. Because you're not ready to be a parent. And that poor thing sure doesn't deserve you as a parent. Poor thing. Like a, life of disaster. You're not ready for that. So how did they get to there? No limitations. No standards. No cautions from the ministry. Some people think we're bizarre. When I tell them when we go home, in our church, we ask them not to start courting till they're 21. And everybody goes, what? You're kidding me. And they look at Mary and they go, Megan, they go, you don't date? And she goes, no. And they look at Barrick, you're not dating? No. You mean they don't do anything till they're 21? I said, yeah. Why? I said, because we're trying to keep them from falling into the lust of the flesh. Oh. We say, it works. Say it works. The only people we've had problems with are people who will not do what I'm asking you to do right now. The ones who do not do what I ask to do, they fall into the lust of the flesh. I can write it down. I could document the evidence. Everybody I've asked to do what we're asking you to do have stayed fairly clean and not got immorally involved. But those who say, no need, I have a right, I'm going to go ahead and do what I want, they fall into the lust of the flesh, and it does affect your future marriage. And we're going to be looking at some of those diagrams to show you how it affects. So, let's put up the first one. The other one before that. I want to read the BGR. BGR. Your future will be shaped by what you do during your courtship years. Say, are you really sure, Sister Barb, that what I do now will affect what happens in my marriage? 100% sure. Because everything you do now will come back and haunt you. In fact, can you imagine if you became a preacher and God used you to evangelize and start churches, and you had dated half the girls in our church and you had defrauded half of them, which means you stir up desires that you can never satisfy, and you get up behind the pulpit to tell about Jesus' love, and they're looking at you and all they can remember is how you touched them?